Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotworld.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I'm using the Heart and Hands Tarot by Liz Blackbird. Okay, so I'm going to draw 3 cards, and each card is going to represent a portion of the upcoming week. And my intention here is just to get kind of like an overview or a snapshot of the week ahead and some of the energy, some of the challenges and opportunities that may present themselves. Okay, so let's start with the first card, which represents Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. Okay, so we have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands really radiates confidence and power, and he's someone who is really in control of his life, and he got to that place of being in control of his life not by the usual, not how you might think someone would be in control of their life. So he got to where he is because he followed his passions and followed kind of where his energy took him, and he let his energy and interest and enthusiasm be his guide in directing him throughout his life. So he only put his energy into projects that had meaning for him and that really excited him. And that is kind of that's basically kind of the rules that he would live by. He wouldn't put a lot of effort and enthusiasm and attention into things that didn't really interest him or excite him. So he shows up at the beginning of the week, I think, as a reminder to us to do just that, to really question where we're putting our energy. And I almost feel like I say this every week in the reading, but I feel like this card is about kind of making sure that you're putting your time and your energy into things that actually do have meaning for you, because it's so surprising how we forget this principle and how we will put a lot of effort and time and a lot of worry and anxiety in things that actually aren't really that important to us in the bigger scheme of things. So the King of Wands has this ability to see the big picture and to really know, in the big picture, how important certain things are and how certain things are really unimportant, and you can let those things kind of go and not put as much energy and focus on them. And then as we get into the middle of the week, we have the Moon, and the Moon is such a powerful card. It's a card that really confuses a lot of people, and in itself it's a confusing card, and it's meant to be that way. So whenever the Moon shows up in a reading, I know that we're going to experience some confusion this week. So you may find yourself feeling perplexed or confused or just not clear on a whole number of issues. And you may really, really want clarity, and that may drive you crazy. And one thing to remember is that perhaps you're not meant to have all the answers right now. Perhaps you're not meant to have clarity. So I think just kind of accepting that this is kind of the way things are. You're not clear, you don't have all the answers, you don't know everything, and that's okay because it's meant to be that way at this point in time. That's going to be something that's really going to help you this week if you can just kind of remember that you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know all the facts. So the Moon is basically, think of the moon when it's like a full moon, or I guess it doesn't have to be a full moon, half moon. Moonlight is going to, if you ever walked outside in the moonlight, it's almost like, especially if it's a full moon, you can see lots of things. You can see things in the moonlight, but you can't see everything. You can't see really clear. There's lots of shadows, and yeah, there's lots of shadows. You don't see everything, but you have like a partial view of things. But compared to the daylight, you actually can't see a whole lot. You can just see kind of shapes and the outlines of things and stuff like that. And that is kind of what the Moon represents. It's about that kind of not knowing everything. And It's probably the most mysterious card to me in the tarot. There's a lot of mystery in this card. And the moon often has to do with our subconscious and the parts of our psyche that we don't quite understand or that we're not totally fully aware of, but that still have such a powerful, potent effect on our lives. And I'm just looking at this particular card, and it's so interesting, the symbolism with this card. So there's fish, there's water, there's this person who looks like she's floating in a boat, a rowboat that's kind of in the shape of like a pod. She almost reminds me of like a fetus or something, kind of in that rowboat. And I'm not 100% sure what to make of this imagery, just that to me, water and the ocean represents kind of like the subconscious or the unconscious. And these fish represent kind of like bits of information or things that are coming up from the unconscious to the surface. And it looks like this person on the card is sleeping. And this makes me think of dreams and how our dreams are really one way that we experience our subconscious. And our subconscious speaks to us in symbols. It's not, you know, most dreams aren't clear cut. Most of them are very confusing and perplexing, like this card, like the moon. So I feel like another message that this card has for you this week is to really pay attention to your dreams and notice repeating themes, repeating patterns in your dreams, and know that you can use your dreams to learn more about yourself and to really get a better sense of your psyche and your subconscious mind. Moving on, and I am going to tie all these cards together at the end. Moving on to the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have the Ace of Wands. So it's funny because normally I get an ace right at the beginning of the week, but this week we have it at the end. So the Ace of Wands, and this particular Ace of Wands shows someone holding a pencil. So the wand in this card is a pencil, and it's being used to write or to draw, to do something. And there's all these like lightning bolts around it. So to me, this is really emphasizing the power of the written word and the power that you have when it comes to, I'm going to say, writing down your dreams, writing down like the actual dreams you have that we talked about in this card at night, but also writing down dreams as in, you know, what you want to create for yourself. What do you want to achieve? And writing down kind of what you want to do, and not like a to-do list, but sort of like a to-do list. And that power of, you know, writing down maybe affirmations or goals or whatever. There's a lot of power in doing that though, in writing down your intentions. And there's also a lot of power when it comes to communicating with people. Sometimes we have an easier time communicating our thoughts and our feelings and our needs when we write it down and send someone a letter as opposed to talking face to face. Obviously there's downsides to that as well, but sometimes that act of writing something down helps you get clear on how you're feeling and what you're wanting, and then you can go and express it verbally in a better way since you've taken the time to kind of write it down and think it through. So if you're having an issue with communicating with someone, this is something that you might want to try. Okay, so I'm going to take a step back. I've only got one more minute left on this video to sum things up. I feel like this week is actually going to be a very powerful week for you. And I say that because I'm looking at the King of Wands. I think that and I'm comparing it to the Ace of Wands. I think that there's a lot of potential here to get clear on what you want, to communicate what you need. And I think there's a lot of creative potential. And specifically in this realm of the unconscious and in tapping the unconscious, I think that you're going to access greater levels of creativity in your life. So I hope you found this reading helpful. My name's Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com, and as always, I always invite you to share your own ideas on these cards, your own thoughts and interpretations in the comment section below. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.